One of the most successful bands across the globe of all time, Linkin Park, are back. It's the last thing that I would have expected, at least in this broad of a scope, but we've got a new song, a new music video, a new live performance, a new lead singer, a new drummer, and last but not least, a new album, November 15th. Hey neighbor, welcome back to the channel. My name is John. I've been a Linkin Park fan since I was 13, and now I'm no longer 13 going on 30. I'm 32. Their music has changed millions of lives. There's no other way around it, and after the passing of Chester Bennington in 2017, my heart was shattered. I know millions of fans were absolutely devastated. The band members left were reeling, and now, 7 years later, they've slowly reconvened, added some new members. Emily Armstrong of Dead Sara is the new lead vocalist of Linkin Park. Emily has been in the band Dead Sara since the early 2000s, and while I appreciate them to some degree, I came across them with the track Weatherman in the early 2010s. Now, this is unrelated to the song, but I did find something that's pretty disheartening. I found out that Emily Armstrong is apparently a well-known Scientologist, so you can go fuck yourself. All of Scientology, not just Emily. I found this screenshot that was left on the Dead Sara account from Cedric, who you might know for being at the Drive-In, the Mars Volta, among other prolific musical projects. Beside the point. He left a comment saying, "I'm surprised none of you wrote a letter on Danny Masterson, the no longer alleged, actually convicted rapist from That 70s Show, also question marks, I don't know what else he was in. I'm surprised none of you wrote a letter on Danny Masterson's behalf since your corny-ass singer, Emily Armstrong, Dead Sara, remember Emily? Remember how your fellow Scientologist goon squad surrounded one of the Jane Does when she was trying to leave the elevators? These are some pretty intense allegations here. The court sheriffs had to escort her away from your awful cult. Remember when we did the purification rundown, Emily? Were you directed to safe point me because of what my wife knew? Why can't you shut your mouth during a detox program where people are going through some rough shit but your corny ass is singing like an unsupervised child? Is it because you're born and Scientologist that gets a pass? How do you reconcile the homophobia found in the teachings of LRH's book Dianetics? Do your fans know about your friend Danny Masterson? If you missed it, Linkin Park were streaming from Xero. They had this live event, everything was counting down, there was a countdown to a countdown to a countdown, and then they finally did the thing revealing everything. September 5th is gonna live in infamy in Linkin Park fans' minds. But during the performance, I noticed that one, Rob was not there as Mike introduced the band members. He talked about Collin Brittain, who I knew for producing Basement's 2018, excellent 2018 album, Beside Myself. That means that Rob Bourdon, I hope I said that right, is no longer the drummer. He had been the drummer since their founding days. And I know that Rob injured his back during the hunting party, the recording of that album, the touring. I don't know if it's something related to that or if he just decided he wasn't comfortable coming back, which would also be really understandable. I can confidently say that I'm very nervous because I just don't know how well I feel like Emily Armstrong matched with the rest of the band. And again, that's nothing against her. I was open to the idea of a new singer, a new female singer being brought because Chester Bennington is irreplaceable, of course. But hearing her do some of the tracks, I know that they said the crowd was supposed to be filling in for Linkin Park, but it really felt like her voice was already tired, and this is just the first show. But these were Chester's songs that he crafted and was able to sing. But these were Chester's songs that expertly fit his vocal range. So I think for the past material, that's where my worry lies.
I let you cut me open.
It's been decided how we lose.
Yeah, I don't know about this. I promise I'm not trying to be a hater here, but that just, to me, Emptiness, it's right there in the title, that felt a little bit empty. I don't want to say soulless because that would be unfair. There was a lot of passion and talent on display. I just don't know if those talents complement each other. Let's be honest, there was some cool drum stuff going on. Collin maybe a little bit more technically skilled, or maybe his skill is a little bit more spread out in terms of the range he's able to hit. I appreciate the percussion on the track. I think the guitars sounded pretty cool when they kicked in. It's just that it kind of feels like a rehash of Minutes to Midnight meeting some of their, I don't know, 1,000 Suns, Living Things type of era. Okay, I'm back. I listened to the song a few more times, and I have come to the unfortunate conclusion that this song is incredibly mid. To briefly echo back to all the new details, we've already got a Variety article here. Linkin Park selects Emily Armstrong from rock band Dead Sara as new singer, reveals tour and album from Xero that's coming out November 15th. Maybe this is just me being a little too precious with everything because this was such a foundational band to my teenage years into adulthood, but something about this comeback just feels a little off to me. Like, I really almost was hoping that if they did come back as Linkin Park, that it would just be for touring and anniversaries and celebrating the milestones that they achieved together while they were a band from like the late 90s to 2017. Mike said in a statement, "Before Linkin Park, our first band name was Xero. This album title refers to both the humble beginning and the journey we're currently undertaking. Sonically and emotionally, it is about the past, present, and future, embracing our signature sound, but new and full of life." Personal lives of new members aside, I guess this song sure does exist. The Emptiness Machine, not for me. Maybe it's just meant to be a palatable, generic, safe lead single to entice people to come back. It sounds like a combination of The Hunting Party and Minutes to Midnight. If I could really pinpoint a direction, the production reminds me a lot of The Hunting Party, but it's nowhere near up to par of the quality level of the tracks that live there. I definitely don't hate this song, but I'm definitely not a fan in the same breath. It kind of leaves a bit of a sour feeling with me, not because this is awful. It just feels almost focus tested for Linkin Park fans. Like, hey, this is what you would like if you're a Linkin Park fan, right? This sounds like some of the past stuff. It doesn't really try that much new. Like I said, for me, the percussion, the drums were the biggest highlight on the track. The guitars sounded solid. Mike felt a little weaker, not necessarily plugged into the heart of the band. And while Emily's voice is powerful, I'm not exactly sure what the firepower is benefiting. Gotta remind myself that that's just one slice of a much bigger pie that's coming with the full album November 15th, but until then, I'm just kinda sitting on my thumbs. We covered a lot in this video. It was kind of like a news update, reaction, and expose all in one. I didn't intend for it to be that way necessarily, but I hope you enjoyed my coverage, shall we say?